Doggone of Sanders Speak. Uh, on this episode of Sanders Speak, so many people's been calling, talking about me in particular, and it is up to me to set the thing straight. Everybody want to get off in other people's business, this, that, and other. So I'll be telling part of my business during this part of Sanders Speak, in which my business is everybody's business, because I'm in the eyes of the public, and that's the way I like things, and that's the way things is gonna be. If I had another way to choose, actually, I wouldn't choose to be in the eyes of the public. I'd like to have a private life of my own also, but it don't goes like that. It don't. So I just have to deal with it however the cards is dealt to me. So that's the way things are. First of all, I would like to say that I'd like to say something about our board that we have for the People's Shelter Incorporated. We have several members on our board. I'm going to call their names out for you. And at that time, well, their names are Arlene Frazier, Carolyn Green, James Sanders, and Enoch Sanders. We have one more member of our board, but that member, we're not calling that person's name right now because that person's name is pending. Also, I would like to say that whatever people say about on our board, what we have is we have people that's work under each board member. We have them, they supposed to pick three peoples apiece for our auxiliary board. And these people they'll be working with to see to it that things is done that is supposed to be done for the organization. And we are working hard out here. We have several shelters set up and other different things to accommodate the homeless. And right now, through our broadcasting and things of that sort, now these things are to accommodate the homeless is what they're all about. The more we let people know about what is going on, what is happening, and to let people know that you cannot just pick on poor peoples or homeless peoples or people that's about to be homeless or in threat of being homeless just because they work for you on a job and you're a cooperative giant. You know, we're out here to let people know that you're not able to do that to these small peoples anymore, because these small peoples are going to band in together and they're going to make something happen is what it's all about. And when I say make something happen, I mean that we're going to band in together and we're going to start talking. And our greatest weapon that we are using to talk on people is one thing is the Bible here. We use the Bible because we are God-fearing peoples is what it's all about. We know that we have been dealing with some peoples in the past that is not God-fearing peoples. You know, we have people that's so much prejudice in their heart till we're coming up here to expose these people that their prejudice ways that they are off into. Places like the Clarion Ledger newspaper. Right now, I'd like to take a second or two out to discuss something about the Clarion Ledger newspaper, why we call them prejudice. Well, for one reason is they have printed in their paper saying that we are taking hush money. No, it's not us that's taking hush money. They are mad because we have decided to work with the city under the present administration. In other words, with Louis Armstrong as being the president, then we decided to start back trying to work with them, and we don't mind about accepting funds from the city. We don't, as long as we don't have Dr. E.C. Foster leading them, because we know that he is not such a good leader. He's not. So with Louis Armstrong there, we think that we got a better choice of leader now. And we, you know, perhaps for long we'll have Louis Armstrong or Stokes or you know who Stokes is, city council member also. Perhaps we can get one of these in as mayor, and we can have some even greater leadership in this city. So what we are saying in particular is this. Well, you know, I wish not to talk negative against our present mayor, but the only thing wrong is why don't the newspapers say about him what they said about Louis Armstrong? Said that if he's tried to solve problems of the city from out of his pocket, that he'll be in the poorhouse or he'll be in a shelter. Well, why don't they say that about our mayor? If our mayor tries to be the chief of police and the mayor when he, you know, is not such a great or a good mayor already, then why don't they say that the mayor will not be in the poorhouse, but the mayor will be in the nut house? In other words, he'll be in one of those psychiatric places that I've been to, such as the St. Dominic Hospital. You know, they got a mental ward up there now. You know, it's not to say, I'm not saying too much about it. I'm supposed to take some of my clients up there to be evaluated, and I'd be hesitating about taking them up there because you heard about the other man that that they allowed to walk off from St. Dominic Hospital, and he was in the mental ward, and say he walked off and wandered into a white neighborhood and was hung himself. Of course, I don't believe that he did that, but if he did do it, then I think that was the responsibility of the hospital for allowing him to walk off, and knowing that he was this kind of person, then they shouldn't have let him walk off and went off and hung himself. I think he wandered off in the Caucasian neighborhood, and him being black probably might have ran off into some of the same Caucasians that that was shooting at those two little boys and shot one of those little boys in the leg that was running from them. I mean, you know, these was two small little black kids, and after the Caucasians come up on them, calling them niggers and other different names, then they shot one of them in the leg as they was running. So these was probably a matter that black male might have ran into some of those same peoples and didn't know how to get away from them, so they hung him. So what I'm saying is, right now, in the last few months that that the police department have been ran by Mayor King Ditto, myself, as being the executive director of the People's Shelter Incorporated, we haven't put any complaints into the police department or anything and all. We have tried to put some in, but each time they would send someone out to our place that cared nothing about our peoples, and which they sent Caucasians out that cared nothing about what was going on in our neighborhood. So they didn't investigate it. We called them out on a hit and run, on several hit and runs, and they did nothing about it, nothing whatsoever. We even gave them the tag number of the people that hit the shelter vehicle and ran, but nothing was done about it. They didn't even contact the people or anything. They didn't contact us back to let us know that what's going to happen. Now, are we able to have our van fixed by the people that hit it and ran? But that's because the Caucasians don't care about anything that happened in our neighborhood. Now, if these hadn't been Caucasians, now, if it had been blacks that we had sent out to investigate, if it had been black police officers, then I'd be up here calling those black police officers' names. But now, it's been in my experience before from the past that if you call them white police officers' name and all, then their white buddies is going to come up on you and give you all kind of tickets. And now they gave me one of the tickets right now already. Now they say I ran the red light. So they got a warrant out for my arrest right now for running the red light. But I'm trying to tell them they can find me anytime they get ready, and all. At nighttime, from 12 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll be sleeping down at the Clarion Ledger newspaper to let them know that we are not going to keep on tolerating their prejudice and them talking about the black organization and saying good things about the Caucasians organizations. We are not going to no longer stand for these kind of things. And for long, we're going to call out for all-out strike against them if they don't hurry up and give us a reprint on that by saying that we taking hush money, and we never taking hush money. We always have wanted to work with the city, but we saw that the city was too prejudiced before in the past, so we would not work with them. That's what the situation was. And now we are seeing that the city has given some, and we are giving some. In other words, everybody bending a little and trying to work in together is what the deal is all about. Now, what I would like to say is I've had people saying things about, the newspaper accused Miss Howard, Betty Howard, talked about her as being a companion of mine when this lady worked for me, making it as though that me and her is doing more than just working, as though that we are some kind of mate, like girlfriend and boyfriend or something. This is a false perception. These folks is they are doing all kind of things. But if I were, then that's my business. And also, I would like to say that far as I've had people calling around trying to find a wife that I'm supposed to have. I don't know what they're talking about. I am not a married man. I was married once upon a time, but I've got out of it, and after I've got out of it, then I'm staying out of it. I don't have no female. I'm not looking for no female. That's why I'm able to sleep down at the Clarion Ledger paper at night. I hadn't been sleeping down there lately for the last few nights because Miss Howard has been in the hospital. She has had a stroke from taking care of the business of the shelter. She bleeding from 2 places in the brains. Because when you're doing this social work, this is a rough job. Social work job is. You're taking on all of the problems of the people, of the homeless and of the poor that come through your shelter, and you are solving their problems is what the situation is all about. Now, we have almost burnt, when I say we, I mean the city of Jackson have almost, what I'm saying is almost burnt Miss Howard out, free of charge, not paying her anything, but she's studied trying to help the problems of the city is what things is all about. And I thank her for that. And, now we must find another social worker that we can burn out the same way. In other words, with no pay or anything. Because we know that the only pay is going is for the Caucasian social workers and the Caucasian organizations is what it's all about. The federal money that comes down to this city from the federal government is not marked for our black organizations. It's not. It's marked for white organizations only. And we are not hiding this fact, We know that the Caucasians of this city is trying to hide this fact, but we are not. We are bringing it out in the open. This is just a prejudiced city. As I've been saying before, this is the #1 prejudiced city in the nation. The city is getting better now, though, because we got Louis Armstrong heading up the city council. So we are getting better. We're working at it. So, but we still have a long ways to go. When you find organizations like the People's Shelter that's willing to get out here and work and solve a lot of the problems of the city and do so many things for the city, and the city is not putting any money off into it, then the reason why they are not putting any money off into it because we have a prejudiced city here. It is time out for being prejudiced here in this city. It's time for blacks and whites to be working together. And everywhere that I see this prejudice in the city, and I'm going to talk about it. That's my job, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to call a spade a spade. Whatever is what, that's what I'm going to call it, what it is. Also, I would like to say that, since I don't have any place to sleep, since I don't have a wife to sleep with every night, then you know where I'm going to be sleeping at? I'm going to be sleeping in different places. Why do you think that right now we got it on our drawing board of me sleeping out in front of some of these prejudiced judges' houses? I'm going to take my sleeping bag and go out there for the winter, and I'm going to be sleeping at their houses because you got Kirk Fordyce. You know what he's doing right now. He's up there at the state capitol trying to let people know that he wants these judges to be the ones to say that we put this person to death or that person to death. Now, this Bible here going to tell you better than talking about putting all these people to death and one person putting them to death. It seems like a jury should say something like that. If you're going to put somebody to death, leave it in the hands of one prejudiced person? Are you serious? We hadn't made it that far in Mississippi yet to let one person say who died and who don't die. This is serious stuff. That's what we are talking about, people. So I'll be sleeping out in front of some of their places is what it's all about, because I have nowhere else to go. I'm fed up with society myself. This is Enoch Sanders speaking, and I'm telling you like it is. I don't have time for a bunch of bull, a bunch of shucking and jiving. I'm just straight out with it, straight up with what is what. I'm going to tell you like this right here. Why do you think that I've been saying to people that we want to get us so many acres or 2,000 or 3,000 acres of farmland out in the country and we move on it? We want to move on the farm out there because out there, I bet you, where I'll be in control, we won't allow nobody to stand up and sell drugs out in the open. We're not taking no payoffs. We're not taking no hush money. We're not going to have them drug stuff and stuff out there. We're not going to have people bringing guns out there shooting each other up and everything. What I'm talking about is getting out here on this land, on this property, and all of us poor people get in together and each person build your own place. Give you an acre of land for you to do what you so desire to do. If you want another acre to raise you some food, then raise your food. But whatever is what, you build your house for yourself. Build what you want out of the trees and the things that is out there in the woods is what it's all about. It's not about having a lot of electrician out there. It's not about having all of the running water. It's not about all the modern convenience. It's about being fed up with society and you don't want to be in society, so you get outside of it. You make your own. That's what it's all about. It's not like the Woodstock, that the thing that they just had over in excuse me, in upstate New York, but it's like the Woodlack. And that's what we would like to be calling it, something like Woodlack. Enoch Woodlack Village. Woodlack, what do you mean by Woodlack? This is the way Enoch would like things to be, in other words. That's why it would be the Enoch Woodlack Village. In other words, I would like to have things without drugs involved in it, without all of the killing, black on black crime or black on white crime or white on black crime or white on white crime. Forget all of that crime and everything. We would like for it to be peace. And then the people that come out there in the village, we don't want these people to come out there with all that negativism stuff and talking about what's going on over there in the city and how can we make our village like the city, because we don't want to be like the city. We want to go back to primitive ways, primitive things. You know, we don't want no M16s out there. We don't want no crack cocaine out there. We don't need no bunch of money out there. We would like to have things righteous, back to nature, back to the way things should be, rather than being a part of the concrete jungle. Because over here, in Babylon, what we have here is concrete jungle. It's a rat race. A rat race, which is a part of the human race. Everybody trying to outdo each other. One person letting the Joneses get them down. They said that Joneses got them a new car, so now this one want a new one. They said the Joneses got that, so this one want that. But we are not working toward that now. We're trying to get out there, and if anybody be out there fighting, then they'll be fighting with spears out there. But hopefully it won't be that. Hopefully it'll be so that if people don't even want to wear clothes out there, they ain't even got to do that. So what we are saying is we want to get closest back to nature as we can. I've been tired and fed up with it. I've been through so many different mental institutions and so many different things here in, such as Whitfield, St. Dominic Hospital, the VA hospital. I've been fed up with these things a long time. I've been fed up with society because I know society is not right. I've been working into trying to make it closest back to right as I can get it without falling off into the traps of society myself. I see so many women out here on that crack cocaine selling their bodies for little or nothing. They come through the shelter all the time. And then they're looking for us to work with them. We send most of them, a lot of them, been sending them down to New Hope Foundation and let them work with their drug problems. We refer them to other different organizations. But what the thing is all about is society, the way it is now, it's not going to make it. And when we have our board meetings, we don't, at the People's Shelter Incorporated, we don't have board meetings like other people do. We have board meetings we might go jump in the car and ride down to Natchez or somewhere and say, and while we are riding, we talk all the way there, discussing things all the way back. And then we've made some type of decisions on what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And then on certain people that volunteer their time, what I do is I might spend time with them going this place or that place just to see where their man are, to see is their man on really helping the poor or doing something for society. Because we have enough people out here that's not doing anything for society. They're just looking for fame and glory. And we're not looking for that. We're trying to tear some of these people down that's in these high places right now that's just looking for that and looking to get paid. None of our people is being paid or anything. But yet and still, the world must go around. It takes money. We have to pay our utility bills. If we're not on the streets begging for our utility bills, just like they stopped us from begging on the streets, it seems like you can stop a crack dealer from selling crack on the corner. If you can stop a non-profit organization from begging on the corner. But I guess a non-profit organization, they ain't got guns like the crack dealers do. Some people must be afraid to come up on the crack dealers. They say that fella named John Coleman, he was coming down on them crack dealers now before he got out of there, before King Ditto got him from out of there. Now, I don't know why King Ditto won't go ahead on and show that Bracy Coleman, he is qualified, he's ready, and he should be the chief of police right now. But he's a black man. And he's afraid that he might stand up to King Ditto just like Wilson stood up to him. Wilson said he was not going to overlook those things that was happening in the youth detention center. He said he was not going to look over Ed Peters being corrupt and Ed Peters going with them little boys. He was not going to look over Frank Melton's part in it. He was not going to look over Frank Bronson's part in it. And he was not going to look over Joe Jackson, which was the head of Jackson branch of the FBI, which have started working for Frank Melton since they have quit for the FBI and started working for Frank Melton. He was not going to look over these people and what they was doing. It was his job to bring these things out in the open and see to it that something be done about it. And I don't blame him. I would too. And because that I'll stand up and I'll talk about these kind of things, all kinds of things been happening to our organization, against our organization. Like I said, our top man that was over the male shelter got shot in the head and robbed. We don't know if one of these other names that I've named was involved in it, in which I should have put a couple of other names off into it, which was been Mary King Ditto and the Clarion Ledger newspaper, those people's up there, because they are definitely bandits. They have sent the SWAT team out in front of their place to try to stop me from sleeping out there at night, the Clarion Ledger have. But I'm going to sleep out there. I ain't got nowhere else to sleep. I ain't got no woman. What you talking about? My woman is all the poor peoples out here. I love all the poor peoples. I don't want to sleep up under a roof, no way. I'd rather sleep under the stars. I'm very dissatisfied. Why you think I wear these clothes all the time, these military clothes? Because I have a military problem, a serious military problem. I was in the United States Marine Corps. I got a military problem from me. Yes, I do. And I know it, but I'm not going to worry about it. I don't even like people to talk to me about the military. And then, and just talking about the St. Dominic Hospital, the way people been talking, when Miss Howard just had her stroke just recently, the first thing that she said, she said, I'm stroking out, I'm gone. But she said, she told folks at the ambulance, she said, take me in and we'll hurry up and just get me to the hospital, but please don't take me to St. Dominic Hospital. Because she know them folks that over at St. Dominic be them fool around and killed her. She know what's going on. And as for me, I don't want to go to no hospital at all. Y'all know about my long hair. You know, it took a long time not being in society, not dealing with society, to get my hair this long and this nappy. I've been cast out for a long time. I just sat back and smoked my ganja every day and just hope that the days go faster and faster and faster till finally maybe, things will be done changed by the time. But, you never wake up out of it, though. It's not a long dream. It's the real thing it is. That's why I don't even usually like to talk to a lot of people. I like to keep to myself and be by myself, because this society is not righteous, and I know it's not. I've been a long time cast out. Like I said, I spent 5 years on the streets of New York City before I came back and we started this organization, the People's Shelter Incorporated. I spent those 5 years on the streets of New York City homeless by choice, not by force. I stood up in front of the city council a week or two ago, and I was saying about the thousands of dollars that we have paid for the to keep these shelters going, for taxes on some of the property that the shelter's been working on, and which was my property. So that's the reason why we had to pay taxes on it. And I didn't want people to misunderstand me and start to thinking that I'm about money or that I got money, but I want to get this situation straight. No, I ain't had no thousands of dollars. For what? I don't want no money. It's not too much that I really want, if you want me to tell you the truth. I know that need money to run the organization,